Hope found in darkness. The mirror illuminating our lives. Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night. The words knowledge and erudition sometimes make us feel inferior or seem like distant stories unrelated to our own lives. However, the world's great stories are not like distant museum artifacts. They are more like mirrors that reveal fragments of our own lives. The book I would like to introduce to you today, Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night, may initially appear difficult and heavy, but in reality, it possesses a remarkable power to soothe and help us understand our deepest human concerns and wounds. This book does not demand special erudition. One simply needs an open heart capable of understanding universal emotions such as joy, sadness, regret, and love in the course of living. 1. What is Long Day's Journey into Night? Long Day's Journey into Night. Long Day's Journey into Night is an autobiographical tragedy written by the great American playwright Eugene O'Neill, based on his own family history. Published after O'Neill's death, it gives us a sense of how dearly he cherished the piece and how it simultaneously caused him pain. Set in a summer house in Connecticut in 1912, the story follows a single day in the lives of the Tyrone family. This day is no ordinary one. From morning until long into the night, the four members of the Tyrone family confront and violently collide with each other, expressing the hidden pasts and present wounds, regrets, and conflicting feelings of love and hatred toward one another. On the outside, the family appears affluent, yet inside, it is on the verge of complete collapse. Father James Tyrone Sr. was once a famous actor. Due to the trauma of his impoverished childhood, he is excessively stingy and constantly tormented by a compulsion for money. Though he truly loves his family, he is unable to express his affection in any way other than through his own limited experiences. Mother Mary Tyrone was once a sensitive and pure-souled woman, but after childbirth, she became addicted to morphine due to a doctor's erroneous prescription. She tries repeatedly to escape the pain of reality by remembering the beauty of the past, yet she feels deep guilt over her drug-dependent state. Elder son Jamie Tyrone also became an actor but failed to achieve success, eventually falling into alcoholism and a life of decadence. Cynical and judgmental, he frequently lashes out at his younger brother Edmund with harsh words. Behind his coldness, however, lies a deep loneliness and frustration. Younger son Edmund Tyrone, an aspiring writer who represents O'Neill himself, suffers from tuberculosis and must go to a sanatorium. Despite his attempts to confront reality hidden among the family conflicts, he suffers the most. He is a sensitive soul capable of feeling both the beauty and cruelty of the world. The members of this family spend the day drinking, depending on drugs, repeatedly bringing up past incidents, and criticizing each other. Yet these criticisms contain a complex mixture of love and resentment for the family members they cannot truly hate, as well as the human fragility of not wanting to accept their own misfortunes. As the day grows darker, the family's souls sink deeper into night, and the day ends with none of them being rescued, each still stuck in their individual pain. 2. Questions posed to our lives. The implications of Long Day's Journey into Night. What can this dark and tragic story possibly mean for us? Readers who may feel a lack of knowledge or erudition might find it difficult to see any reason to seek out such a story. Nevertheless, Long Day's Journey into Night presents us with universal human questions and insights that we might encounter at some point in our lives, or perhaps already have. A. The truth beyond the illusion of the perfect family. We are often influenced, through media and society, by an image of an ideal family. The picture of a harmonious, understanding, and always happy household sometimes feels like a goal to be achieved. However, Long Day's Journey into Night shatters such illusions. The Tyrone family appears to possess a certain status and wealth from the outside, but within lies a history of unending misunderstandings, criticisms, avoidance, and festering wounds. This work informs us that there is no such thing as a perfect family. Every family has its own history, necessarily filled with pain and conflict. What is important is not hiding or denying these pains, but having the courage to confront and accept them. When we reflect upon the families around us and our own families, this book helps us open our eyes to see and understand the truth beyond appearances. It shows that even where love and dependence seem masked by hatred, they are deeply intertwined. B. The shadow of the past. The weight of regret and memories. A considerable portion of the Tyrone family's tragedy stems from past events. The father's impoverished past led to his stinginess, while the mother's morphine addiction resulted in guilt for failing to properly care for her children. They repeatedly recall the past, searching for the roots of their misfortunes, but these memories only intensify their present suffering. This piece shows us how powerfully the past influences the present. Unresolved past wounds, regrets, and resentments follow us like shadows, affecting our current choices and relationships. Long Day's Journey into Night emphasizes that while we may never be completely free from our past, understanding it and reducing its burden is essential. It offers an opportunity for us to trace the roots of our behaviors and feelings. C. Truths we want to avoid and self-deception. Each character in the book attempts to avoid the truth in various ways. Mother Mary denies her morphine addiction, while Father James refuses to acknowledge the negative impact of his stinginess on the family. Jamie hides his failures behind alcohol and cynicism, while Edmund tries to ignore his illness. All of them deceive themselves, knowingly or pretending not to know, about the truth. Long Day's Journey into Night vividly illustrates how fragile human beings are and how adept we are at deceiving ourselves. Sometimes, out of pain, fear, or exhaustion, we prefer to remain in comfortable lies rather than face reality. However, this play reveals that such self-deception ultimately leads to greater suffering and isolation. It suggests that facing ourselves and confronting reality, even if it is uncomfortable or painful, can mark the true beginning of growth and liberation. D. Absence of communication and the wall of misunderstanding. The Tyrone family spends the entire day talking. Yet their communication is not genuine. Their conversations are filled with hurtful words, criticisms, bringing up past grievances, and justifying themselves. Instead of trying to understand each other, they project their pain onto one another and attempt to judge the other's pain according to their own perspectives. As a result, their conversations only widen the gap, constructing higher walls of misunderstanding. This play serves as a powerful example of the many difficulties we encounter in our daily relationships, arising precisely from the absence of authentic communication. We may speak a great deal, but do we truly listen and try to understand the other person's inner thoughts? Do we express our feelings honestly, yet without causing harm? Long Day's Journey into Night reminds us how difficult and delicate the process of communication is, and the tragic consequences of failing to communicate, prompting us to reflect on the importance of relationships. E. Expanding empathy and understanding. A gaze toward all suffering beings. All characters in this book possess weaknesses and at times may seem selfish or cruel. But as we follow the depth of their suffering and pain, we find ourselves ultimately unable to hate them. Instead, we come to feel profound empathy for their fragility and imperfection. Mother and son, dependent on alcohol and morphine, escaping reality. The father trapped by the trauma of poverty, inadvertently hurting his family. All are beings enduring pain. Long Day's Journey into Night insists on the importance of understanding and not simply judging or condemning others' pain. We encounter many people different from ourselves in life, and we often hastily conclude about their actions. However, this play reveals that behind every human action lies complex reasons and wounds, making it imperative for us to broaden our understanding of others. In doing so, we can cultivate compassion not only for those around us but for all suffering beings in the world. 3. Beyond knowledge and erudition. Reading for the wisdom of life. Long Day's Journey into Night does not offer an easy or comfortable read. Rather, it will unsettle your heart, provoke deep thoughts, and at times, even hurt. Yet, it is precisely in this discomfort that we discover true understanding. Knowledge and erudition do not arise simply from knowing a lot. They stem from understanding the world, understanding people, and ultimately understanding ourselves. Long Day's Journey into Night offers such an opportunity. Reading this book is not merely about glimpsing the tragedy of a single family but embarking on a journey to understand our own families, our own wounds, and the pain of the society in which we live. Perhaps some of you may see your family's shadow reflected in the Tyrone family. Perhaps you may encounter some hidden regret or wound within yourself. Such an experience may be painful, yet it can also mark the beginning of healing and growth. After all, it is when we acknowledge our weaknesses that we truly grow strong. So do not hesitate. Long Day's journey into night is, in fact, far closer to your life than you might think. Instead of feeling burdened by the idea of reading a difficult classic, approach this book as if reading someone's private diary or standing in front of a mirror with an honest heart. At the end of this long journey, you will gain the wisdom to understand yourself more deeply, along with a more profound understanding of the world and humanity. Isn't that the greatest gift a book can offer, and the true essence of erudition?